Hey Shay, kind of a different one. What was the first part of the season with the mask like for you? I know I just seeing that was a little different. I just wonder how different that was playing for you because obviously it's made so your vision is still, optimal, but I
hmm
just somewhat silly and less important. But what was that like for you?
It was hard. Well, after Angel City, yeah, when we had that little off weekend, we ended up being because we didn't have a ton of numbers either, just everyone on international duties. So we scrimmaged like just the boys team, just like some younger boys team, and went up for a header, and I headed his face. So I broke my nose. That we know of. So I had the mask. And yeah, it was fine. I mean, obviously, I felt like it did affect me a little bit. I think I got lost when it was like looking down. So I think there was one pass to Lou in one of the first games wearing it. I got it and then I like lost it and it got stuck under my foot. I was like, so sorry, that wasn't your fault. That wasn't your pass. It was just my vision. So yeah, week 5 was last week. I was supposed to take it to week 6, couldn't do it anymore. So we ditched it. This would have been the last game to wear it, but we got last game out of, we got the feels out, so it's fine. So yeah, shouldn't be an issue anymore. But it was tough.
Um, Sorry to cut you off, but oh goodness, yeah, okay, good to know. I was wondering why that happened. But also, could you expand a little bit on your thoughts on this club's defensive depth? I know a bunch of us have talked to Laura and some of the defenders about the depth of this team's defense. You've seen Emily Mason rotate in, obviously
hmm
bringing in Maddie Curry. Just from your perspective, as someone who has come in and played different spots for this club. What have you seen from, the defensive depth and how you guys have worked? Because she's talked about how Scott's worked with you guys a
hmm
bunch. You guys have watched a lot of film this year. Just, I guess, your perspective on the defenders group this season so far.
Yeah, I think it's been great. Well, yeah, I mean, I've rotated out of roles constantly. I mean, not just this year, but just in general, my whole career with the Rain. And I think every year I've noticed that the depth we've had is something that's worth mentioning. I just feel like whether I play with the starting back line or whoever it is week in week out, or if it's like people who are options coming off the bench, I feel comfortable with both of them. And I feel like that's what's nice is because everyone gets that interchange with each other. So the depth is not only based individually, but I feel like as a team and as a unit, we all get the chance to kind of like know how each other plays, and just feel trusted that everyone's going to do their role when they step in. I know, yeah, Mason and I, especially the past couple games, coming in like the last 5-10 minutes, really knowing what our roles is going to be, or like Maddie Curry come in last game with about like 30 minutes left. I think it just at different times it's involved different requirements and roles, and I think it's nice knowing when we go into those minutes that the back line that has been in their whole time knows what we're going to come in and do and get the job done. But then also just trusting that, yeah, we're there whenever they need us. But we've been doing great as a unit. We go over film, yeah, once a week. It's been nice. The coaches interchange every like couple weeks or so. So we have different like coaches' eyes and unit work that we do. Yeah, it's just been great. I think we've put a lot of effort and work behind the scenes into it, and I think it's been showing on and off the field chemistry wise and just on the field connection bit when we get into those final phases. And it showed, I think, too, with stats. I mean, we've been letting in not very many goals. We've been giving not many chances, not even shots on goals. And I think that comes not only from our unit, but the organization that they're leading out there for the midfielders and forwards as well.
Thanks, Charles. And then we'll go over to Steve.
Hi, Shay. Kind of to follow up on that, you guys have used a couple different formations and tactics this year, 5 in the back for the last 2 games, compared to the more common 4 in the back earlier in the season. I wonder if you could talk a little bit about kind of the differences you feel and kind of what your expectations are in those different roles and kind of preparing to be able to shift between them.
Yeah, I think the other thing that's been nice is I think alluding back to kind of the depth we have with like all those positions. And especially the back line is when we've wanted to do the 3 back, we have that. But then if our wing backs are wingers, it just brings a different perspective on the field. So then, whereas versus like when I'm in or even Curry at times or Mason, like I feel like with them, it's like, are we holding back a little bit more to let our forwards go up higher? I feel like it's just versatile. And I feel like it's easy to be able to switch in and out of those formations. And we've worked on a magnitude of like a lot of those plays and tactics just throughout the past weeks. So yeah, so I just feel like it hasn't felt like it's been an adjustment. It just feels like we can kind of flow with whatever the game's giving us and whatever we need. And then, like I said, personnel wise, we have the people that is required to kind of like ebb and flow throughout those different ones, whether it's who we play or whether it's halfway through the game of what we need, if we're a goal down, goal up, kind of all those in between. So I've noticed it's a different formation, but I haven't noticed that our role and our identity as a club has changed all that much.
Thanks. And obviously last week you guys didn't get the result you were hoping for. I wonder if you could talk a little bit about, kind of looking back on it and preparing for the week ahead, what things you feel like the team maybe needed to work on and to improve to get a result against Racing tomorrow.
Yeah, I think overall, it was hard. I mean, no one ever loves to lose, especially like when we come off such high wins in the past. But I think we all felt it. I think we all felt like what was happening. Like, it wasn't that we didn't do bad. It was just, it felt like kind of just a flatness to it. But we all kind of like recognized that. We've all kind of had the conversations we've had to have this week. And I think we're just ready to kind of like get back on top and just be like whatever we need mentality wise, whether it's expecting more from each other, whether it's like on travel trips, like what's the difference we need to be able to be ready for those these like away games to get these away points. So it was a tough loss, but I really do think we dove straight into like learning from it and having the open communication about like what it was and what it could tailor to. And I think everyone, I don't want to speak for everyone, but the vibe is that I feel like everyone's ready to kind of get back into it and get this road win, hopefully. So,
thank you.
Thanks, Steve. Any other questions for Shae? Charles?
I'll keep going. I know it's, the schedule will go this way. It seems somewhat beneficial that you had the 4 home matches in like stretch of 5 games, right? I know Laura always will talk about getting training in when she can, right? To kind of follow up on what Steven asked, like, has it been tough to kind of go from, I guess, that sort of nicer stretch, even the road match was California, to, the shorter week where you've got a Sunday match and a Friday game? Like, I don't know, for you personally, has it changed anything for you to just trying to get back used to maybe a shorter week, or you're a professional, it doesn't really bother you that much?
yeah, no, I mean, it definitely does affect everyone in some way. I mean, I know for me, like, my role this past weekend was the last couple minutes of the game, like the last back half. So like the players who need that same, I guess, data and like numbers for our running and our workload. We came in Monday, we put that work in. Everyone's on the same page starting Tuesday again. So I think we have a good flow of like what's expected to stay on track with the shorter weeks. And it's kind of been, we have a pattern, like it's kind of been nice. We've had the short weeks, but then we get a long week. We have a short week, we get a long week. So it's kind of like we've had that so far, which has been nice, but I also think it's just preparing us for a lot of our away games all of the month of June coming up. So I think to get that mindset also is what's helpful. So I think, yeah, like you said, we're a professional team, we're professionals. So I think it's kind of just diving into that and kind of just knowing what it's preparing us for in the long run, but also just we got to come in every day and treat it. It is our jobs and we enjoy it. So kind of just come in and do what's expected and hit the ground running again. So it's been tough, but at the same time, I like the flow that we've had with it. We've managed it, I think, really well. So.
And then last one for me, sort of away from the field. You can correct me if I'm wrong, because you know it better. I believe your last year at Washington was Mia's first year. Mia, who's her story right now. Can you just, obviously there's been a lot with her story, and it's awesome to see it being told. Do you have any memories with Mia? I know the Washington connection remains strong, whether it's you or Olo there, and whatever it may be. But do you have any fun Mia stories to share just from your time there? Because I think you were a grad student, and it was her freshman year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was, a newbie. That whole class, that whole class was just one ball of like bunch of personalities. It was so different. It reminded me of my class because we were a class of 12. And so we had like all these different, from like dominant personalities to like not say a word. Like that's how that class reminded me of, was just how when we came in, because they were the next big class that came in after my sister's class, which was only 2 of them. Yeah, Mia's, she's close to me. I mean, I would say like 1 year for me on the field with her wasn't enough. I would have loved to play with her more. She was someone who I trusted to be on the field when, if it wasn't Liv Sakani, if it wasn't Liv Juarez, like she was that next, like she was the depth we had in that position. And I don't think anyone looked at her as that third string goalkeeper when she was so young. She was like ready to come in and do the work. And I connected with her even more because she came in with a torn ACL. So it was kind of trying to hit off that right off the bat, is like, if you need anything, I'm here. I've been through it, and kind of just like a leaning shoulder if need be. But because of the age, I didn't hang out with them a whole lot outside of it. It was kind of like, it's weird. It's like not a lot of generations, but it's kind of like still a big difference. So she was a lot closer with like my sister's class and my sister. So I think now being an alumni, I think that class, and I've grown to get closer with a lot of them. After games, I say hi to all of them. I give them all hugs. And they mean even more to me now being gone than we got close enough on the team through the year I was there with that class. But yeah, she's a strong one. I'm excited to see just this journey and her, like, to kick cancer. It's been hard news to hear, because I think it kind of just brings a lot of people back to reality, and just like kind of the whole like never take life for granted, and the people that are close to you, and you just don't know until those people are affected that are in your inner circle. But we're all here behind her. Yeah, I know Ola and I, like, we're always here as dogs just in the area, Dogs for Life. But it's been really cool to see the whole community kind of get behind her. And I'm excited to see that the journey is knowing the person she is and the player she was and like will continue to be. There's not a doubt in my mind that this is just another small little road bump for her, for sure. And she's handling it so well with her positivity. So, which my motto's always been that anyways. So I'm excited to see her continue to kick cancer's butt. So yeah,